Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and welcome to the first annual virtual retreat birthday bash. And this is going to be the softcover junk journal class. Now, I apologize for not having labels on all the bags, but you will know this bag because it will be the one that's stuffed full of all kinds of goodies. And it'll have the material in there, so you will definitely know this class. Now, this is my softcover journal, and you've got all kinds of things in your bag that you can make your journal with, or you can use some of the things that you have at home if you want to use those. I've had quite a few that have emailed me and asked, do I have to use exactly what you put in the kit? No, you do not. I give you the kit, or I sold you the kit, so that you would have what I have. But if you don't want to use that, then you use what you want to. That's up to you. I'm just going to show you how to put it together. All right, you will have two pieces of material. One will be this pattern material, and then one will be this thick, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, that kind of material. I know somebody's going to leave me a comment and tell me what that's called. Now this is, let's see, I can't remember what we cut it. It's going to be more than what you need, but we wanted to make sure you had enough. All right, that's 12, 13, 14, 15, almost 16 this way. And then this way it is 12, 13, 14, about 14 and a half this way. So what you want to do is, and I'm just going to lay my book on here first, and then I'll tell you the exact size that we'll cut. Now, I've just got my two pieces kind of laid together. They don't have to be exact. This is a junk journal, so just lay them up there as best you can, even them up. I'm not even going to put my little book here all the way to the edge. And I'm going to let it run this way because you need this extra material to do the inside pocket. So make sure that you cut across your smallest side. This is your long way. This is the small way. Make sure you cut along the small way. And like I said, I'm going to tell you the exact size that we're going to cut in just a second. All right, I'm going to leave mine laying right there, and I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting. Now your cutting will be easier than mine because you won't have all of this in your way. I'm going to lay that aside because I'm going to use it, and then I can lay my journal aside. Now, you can see I cut really, really crooked, but that's okay. I cut wider. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to fold this up. Just make sure that I've got my sides pretty even, and then I'm just going to even this up. That's why we give you extra. Material is a little bit harder to cut than paper is. A little bit harder to get right. And you can use your, what is that thing called? You can use your rotary trimmer if you want to. That's what my husband used to cut all of these with. But since I'm at my desk and having to show you on the video, I'm just going to do it this way. Now, I'm going to, again, take the material apart. Just kind of lay my sides together, smooth it out, and just see if I might need to trim a little bit more off. And like I said, you do not have to trim it. You can just let this fray if you want to. So I'm going to measure this. I have got this cut at 9 3/4. No. All right, let's do 9 1/2. So I'm going to make a mark right here. Mark right here. And that's at 9 1/2. 9 1/2. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to run right down through here and cut that straighter. Now, if you're better at trimming than me, you probably already have yours straight, and that's great. I'm good when I can stand up and have my rotary trimmer, but when I cut it like this, I'm a little bit off sometimes, but that's okay. There we go. Now, you see this phrase, so that's good. That's what I like. Now, you can either cut the bottom part the same size as you do the top, or you can trim it off a little bit more. What I'm going to do with this bottom, you know, one side has the selvage, or this side does and this side does. So I'm going to trim those two pieces just a little bit, just so that it will fray, because it won't fray as long as it has that selvage there. And again, straight is optional in my world anyway. There we go. Now, all right. Now, I'm not worried about any of this being longer, wider, none of that right now. I can always go back and do some extra trimming later if I need to. I am going to straighten this up just a tiny bit. There we go. Or I can just let it all fray, which is probably what I'm going to do, because I like that frayed look. Okay, let me put those scissors up so I won't use them. Now, so what we're going to do now, this is the point where you can do your stitching if you want to. I know a lot of people don't have the access to do stitching, so I'm going to show you how to put this together where you do not have to do any stitching if you don't want to. Now, another thing I will tell you, if you want your cover to be thicker, mine is not very thick, and I like that. You know, it still holds up. But if you want your cover to be thicker, you can take just a piece of scrap paper and put it on the inside here, like cardstock, put it on the inside and then glue that in there. And that'll make it a little bit stronger. I'm going to leave mine as is. I like that feel, but that's up to you. This back part is very, very thick, so it should be perfect. All right, I am going to use I was going to tell you the exact size of this, wasn't I? Okay. You need to cut this at, and let me mark with something more precise. Around 13. This is cut at 13 3/4. And I'm just going to measure it up here to make sure. Yes, 13 3/4 by 9 1/2. So 13 3/4 by 9 1/2. And I'm going to write that down so that I will make sure that I can tell you those sizes. I'll have the sizes written on the screen. 13 1/2 by 9 3/4. Now, you can do the front and the back the same size, like I said. So what I'm going to use to glue these together is my PVA glue. Now, I'll tell you, this takes a lot longer to dry than just putting it together by stitching. But if you want to do this without stitching, then this is the best way that I know of. You may know of a better way to put material to material, but this is the way that I'm going to do. Now, I will have to set this aside and let it dry, but that'll be okay because we have other things that we can work on. I'm just going to use a brush. Just kind of brush it on. Not going to worry about getting it on my glass mat because I can wipe that up. Just brush on a good thickness. I do not have this PVA glue watered down. A lot of people ask me, do I water it? No, I don't. I like the consistency that it is. I find that it catches real well and holds. So I leave mine just as is. But again, that's up to you. If you have yours watered down and it works well for you, then go for it. All right. Now I am going to use my bone folder and just kind of press this out as best I can. we go. Make sure that the edges are glued, and we can always come back and do more to the edges if we need to. The inside part is what you need to make sure that's gluing together well. And if you don't have PVA glue, I'm thinking that you could probably use the art glitter glue. I have not tried it on here. I would just run to the store and grab some PVA glue. It's very inexpensive and you can use it for lots of different things. Or you can try, Fabri-Tac would work if you have Fabri-Tac. Or you can try a different glue. Just try it on a scrap piece of the material and see if it works good for you. You know, different areas, different climates, different glues work better in some than they do others. I know this works real well here because it's so hot and humid. But, you know, it may not work well in colder areas. I don't know. Alright. We have just about got that. Okay, I'm going to lay this one down and I'm going to try to lay it down without getting any wrinkles in here, if I can. There we go. Press that glue out to the edges. Don't worry if you got a little bit of glue out here, we can always, that will dry and then we can still fray that if we want to. Not gonna worry about that part. Okay, so that is our cover, nice and flat, glued together, and I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry. And I'm gonna set probably something heavy on top of it. All right, you have 3 pieces of 12 by 12 paper. Yours will probably be different from mine because we ran out of the paper that we sent you. So we just I used different paper from my stash. So, and everybody will have some different, you may have one that's one color, one that's another one. That's good. That's what you want. You don't want all of them to be the same. Now, since our cover is 13.5 by 9 3/4, we want to cut these down. These are going to be the covers for your signatures. So you're going to leave your width 12 inches. You're not going to cut that one down at all. So I'm going to look at my patterns. They're running this way, so I need to leave this width 12 inches. See, my pattern's running like this. So this is going to fold around like this. That's going to be my cover. So I want that to be cut up. Or I want this to be up. Now, this way, we're going to need to cut it some. Because 9 3/4 is the height of our cover. So we want this to be shorter than that. So I'm going to cut mine at 9. You can cut yours at 9 1/4, even 9 1/2, but I wouldn't go over 9 1/2 because you don't want your paper sticking out, and sometimes they will if you try to make them too tall. I'm just going to make mine at 9. I don't care, that other 3/4 of an inch can be divided from top to bottom. So I would make them at 9 or 9 1/4 if I were you. All right, I'm just looking to make sure. Let me make sure all my patterns running the same way. Yep. So then I'm just going to try to cut them all at once at 9. And I don't know. There we go. Maybe. My trimmer says, why do you do this to me? Cutting 3 papers at once. Okay. So now this is cut at 9 inches by 12 inches. So that's what you want your pages. So that is what you want your signature covers to be. 9 by 12. And they're going to fold, excuse me, they're going to fold just like this. You can go ahead and fold them if you want to. It doesn't hurt anything. And then I'm going to fold this one this way, I think. And then this one I'll fold this way. So just make all of them look different. Okay. So there are the covers for our 3 signatures. Now what you need to do, all of that paper that was included in your kits, and let me grab a few. I don't have everything out here that you have, but I have a few pieces. I have some of this book page. I have, let me grab it. Just going to pull out everything that I've laid right here. I have some ledger paper, old ledger paper. This ledger paper is way back from when I first started my accounting many years ago. That is what I have left of that ledger paper. So, and I'm going to use another one of these. Let's see, which one do I want to use? Oh, I think I'll use that one. That's cute. I like that. Right now, I just pull out papers that I want to put in my different signatures. I like that one. And then I'm going to use that one even though it's torn. I didn't put that in your kit because it was torn. Now, I don't have a lot of the tea dyed paper and, ink dyed paper and coffee dyed paper that you do because I sent that to you guys. Excuse me, because I sent that to you guys. But I do have some that I will include in mine. But right now, I'm just going to pull out some different papers. And these are just from old notebooks that I had. And this is from, what is this from? This is from a calendar that I had. Gosh, I can't think. From a calendar that I had. And then you have some weekly planner sheets in yours. I like those. I don't use them. I don't use these for planners, but I love them in my journals. So you have some of those. Let's see what else we have here. Lots of different things that we can grab. I may have to get up and get another book to get some book pages. No, maybe I have some right here. Okay, you have some of this. This is some old invoices that I had many years ago before the computers, when I was keeping track of, purchases and all that. I would fill out all this by hand. So you have some of those in your kit. And then you have some book pages. Let's see. There's some book pages. You have some half sheets like this that are ink dyed. Now, I don't have mine ink dyed, so I'm not going to use those. I'm going to grab some that I do have dyed out of my little place here. And they don't have to be solid pieces. They can be scraps. Just drag out what you have. Someone asked, sent me an email last night and said, I love everything that you sent, but can I use some of my own stuff in my journal? Yes, please. Use what you want. It's going to be your journal. It's not going to be mine. So you use what you want. Now I'm going to grab a piece of Tim Holtz tissue paper. You have a piece of that in yours. And I'm just going to grab a piece of that. And then I will tear that down probably, or cut it down. Because we don't need the whole sheet, so I will save part of that for later. Hopefully it will tear somewhat near straight. It doesn't have to be straight. I don't care. I like it a little bit off. All right, there we go. We've got that. Then, let's see, what else did we have? You had some envelopes of different kind. Let's see. You had some vellum, I think, in yours. I'm digging over here just through my stuff on my table. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use some of this in mine, and this is from Shabby Dabby Doodah. And then I'm also going to include that. That's one of my printables. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to include a sheet of that. And I haven't printed on the back of any of these, but that's fine. I don't care. I can always put pockets and things on. I'm going to include that, some of that journal sheet. And like I said, my stuff is probably not going to be exactly like yours, just because most everything that we had, we sent out to you. All of our scraps and things. All of our book pages and things. Okay. I want to use one of those. That's in one of our freebies. What else do we have? Let's grab some more stuff. All right, hold on. Let me grab a little book. Okay. This is some old Art Link letter picture encyclopedias. I included some of these in your kits. These are very, very old, and I just thought they were so interesting. My husband sat and read every one just about that he put in the kits. He loved it. But these are very, very old, as you can see. But I still have quite a few of those. All right, what else are we going to put in here? I think I included some music pages in yours, maybe. And I don't even know if I have any music pages left. Yep, there's one. It's a music page. I'm going to put an Edith Holden page in mine. Just because I have it in my stash. Somebody gave it to me, so I'm going to include that. I think you had some dyed doilies in yours. So I'm going to include some doilies in mine. There's one. And, whoop, that's a piece. They have lots of pieces. There we go. And, okay, that's enough to start with right now. So we're going to lay our doilies aside because they can be the size that they are. We know we don't need to cut those down. Now, all your other ones, you can go ahead and fold them in half. And what you're going to set your pattern by is these sheets right here. Nothing needs to be larger than these covers. So as long as it'll fit in there like that, we're good. If it doesn't fit in there, you're going to have to trim it down. These I put in sideways. It doesn't matter. This is a junk journal. And if you want to sit and read them like my husband does, you can do that too. You can make copies of them if you want. Just don't sell them. I think they're still under copyright. I don't know. Alright, we know this is going to be too big. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe? Yeah, it's going to be a little bit big. So we'll worry about that in a minute. I'm just going to keep folding them. This I'm just going to cut apart. I'm just going to keep folding pieces. This is what come with my stamp press long ago that I don't use anymore. This is a piece of paper from My Porch Prints, and this is the wildflower. That's very, very pretty. Now these pieces we're going to need to trim the edges off of, so I'm just going to use my ruler and my little knife here, hopefully. You could tear them if you wanted to. If you want them crooked, you could tear them. You could use your tear ruler. I'm just going to do this one this way. Okay. So there is one. And like I said, mine are not printed on the back side or dyed. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. We will leave it as is. I can always go in and do a little coloring or inking or something once I get them in my journal. Whoa! That didn't want to cut, did it? I don't think I held it tight enough. Well, I didn't trim that one too well. I think my knife needs changing out there. The other ones I may just tear. I'm going to lay that underneath. And this, we're just going to fold up. The envelopes, we're just going to lay them aside for a minute. This, yeah, we'll fold it in half, and we may do something else with this in a minute. Right now, I'm just going to fold everything in half. This, I'll go ahead and trim pretty straight. I'm not going to worry about it if it's not. And then I'll use that. Keep in mind, junk journal, you're not trying to be real accurate with everything. Everything doesn't have to be exactly squared, or it can be short, it can be tall. See, some of these are going to be shorter than others, and that's fine. That one's going to be kind of a tall, thin. Then your book pages, you can put them in a couple of different ways. You can put your book pages in, let me get this apart. You can put your book pages in like this and just put a piece of paper down through here, and then this can be the center of the signature. Mine, excuse me, mine I'm just going to pull apart. I have been talking all day long and my voice is about to go. I have to get something to drink. I'm just going to fold mine. I like them folded just as well. And I did not inspect every piece of book page that I sent you. So if by chance I sent you one that has a dirty word on there, I apologize. I didn't mean to. It wasn't my intention to do that. I just could not read every page that I put in the kit. So if I did just, and you don't want to use it, just trash it. Or put something over it. I would have had to read lots of books if I'd have done that. Okay, these I'm just going to fold up like this to go in there. And this is my process. You may do something different. It may be easier for you to do a different way, but this is the easiest for me. Okay, this, ooh, I can't include that in there. It's got somebody's information on it. Okay, there we go. And I like the ones that have this on there. I like those. They work well in a junk journal. And I don't know how many pages that you got. You may have got lots more than I did. That's fine. Use what you have. Use what you want. I try not to put more than maybe 8 to 10 pages in each signature, because if you do, by the time you put your pockets and your embellishments and everything like that, it's going to get really, really bulky. So I try not to include too much. Alright, so that's that, and then we'll go ahead and let's see if I can tear this one. I do want to include this one, but I don't want to have to cut it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to tear it well since it's so narrow. There we go. Not worrying about it if it's straight or not. Just tearing. This, I can't remember what the name of this collection is from Shabby Dabby Doo Dah. It's Paris something. I'll try to find it and link it below if anyone's interested in it. It's from Tina. And I would go ahead and print on the back side. I didn't on these because I ran out of ink about the time I got these printed. But if I had time right now, I'd go ahead and print on the back side of those. Now, that's kind of my process right there. So then I do this. I lay my covers out. There's one cover, another cover, and I want to let, yeah, that's going to be that. This is going to be the back cover. I want that to be the front, middle, and back. Yeah. And then I just start laying down pieces on each one of these. And I try not to include the same thing on any two. I'm just kind of alternating. Okay, and those, that. Okay, I've got one of those, one of those, one of those. So it's just a process of going back and forth and just kind of alternating what you have. And you can be more particular. I don't stress over it. I just kind of even it out. Because to me, they're all nice pages. I mean, it's a junk journal, so I don't worry about it. Now, I go ahead and I start with the first one. And I decide what I want to be the very first sheet that everybody sees when I see when I open my junk journal, or if anybody else opens it. And I don't mind it being that, my first sheet. Then I want something that's kind of busy, since this is not in here, so I'll put that in there. Then I want a shorter page, so let's go that route, right there. Then let's see, let's do some book page. There's an old book. And hopefully I'm keeping this in frame. I'm trying to. Then I'm going to put one of these in here, but I'm going to slide it to the top. And then I'm going to put, let's see. Well, let's slide it to the bottom so I can hold it. Then I want another one of these, put in the center. And then another book page, and it'll need to go to the top since that last one went to the bottom. Then we'll put a ledger sheet and put it at the bottom. Since we put that one at the top, we're going to kind of even them out. Then what shall we put? Let's put one of these and put it that way. Now I'm just going to kind of put it in the center like that. Put that piece of vellum in there. We may end up doing something different with that vellum. I'm just going to put it in there for now. I'm going to put another ink dyed page. Put this page. Another book page at the bottom maybe. And then I'm going to put that one. It's going to be, I'm going to turn it around since I've got those at the top of that other one. And then I want to include my envelope, and it's just going to go right there, and then a doily. Let's see, I think I'm going to put my doily on the inside of something. Let's put him back here, or maybe it's a her. Let's put him back here. Maybe it's a her. There we go. So that is one signature. I'm just going to tuck it in here and see what I need to fix, trim off. All right, we know we need to trim that vellum or do something else with it, and that was what I was expecting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pockets, side tucks. So I'm going to fold that over, make a little side tuck there, and then I'm going to take the back page and fold it over and make another side tuck like that. Now, you go through, and if you want to make another fold up, side tuck, pocket at the bottom, whatever, you go through and do that now. Like if you wanted this to have a pocket at the bottom, just go through and do the fold now, like that. And then put that back in your signature. So there's a pocket at the bottom. Then I can look through and say, let's see. Got a pocket there, pocket there. I might want this to be a pocket. Since I don't have anything on here, I might want to make a pocket and then put some tags in here to kind of keep that from looking so plain. So we'll do that. And then we'll put it all back together one more time and look at it again. Okay, that looks good now. I've got all of my pieces in there. I can center everything up. And that looks good for one of my signatures. I may go through in a little bit and I'll take some of my pieces and pull them up and some of my little pieces and pull them down. But right now I'm just going to leave that like it is. Now if you want to use 2 envelopes in the same place, you can do it like this. Your little tabs over different ways, but I'm just going to use one in here. So I'm going to clip this together just to let myself know that I'm finished with that one. And then I'm going to do the same process with these. Same exact thing, no different. Lay that aside and I'll just start by deciding which piece I want to be in the very front. And I think I want that one to be the front right there. I like that. And then I want something, I want a dyed page in behind that one. A little book page right there. Then let's see, we can bring that in, and then we need something really colorful in here because we have nothing on the front of that. And I'm going to go ahead, I know I want to make this a pocket, so I'm going to go ahead and fold that up and make that a pocket just like that. And I can bring that down a little bit. I can put this in there because it's got lots of writing on there. Then let's see, let's put this in. And then another book page maybe. No, let's don't do that. Let's do this. One of these. And then some vellum. And the vellum we're going to need to fold, I can tell. So I'm just going to fold up and make a pocket at the bottom with my vellum. There we go. And then what we got next? I can put this in there. And I'm just going to slide that one in there. Don't mind it being torn, it doesn't bother me. I don't take a lot of time on putting these together. Some people will put it together and pull it apart and put it together and pull it apart. That's not me. I put them together. I pick up what I think I like and I put them together. To me, that's, I mean, if I like it, that's what I need to do, you know? Okay, then we'll put that in there. No, I don't want a book page in the center, I know, because they're too easy to pull out when they're in the center part. So we'll put that back there. We've got that as a pocket, and then we'll put another envelope in here. And this I'm going to have to trim off or fold over. And I don't think I want to do a double pocket on there, so I'm going to tear this off. That's what I want to do. Just like that. Now, if you want to do some stitching around your pages, you can go ahead and do that now. Before you put everything together, you can do some different stitching around them if you want. If you want to do stitching around here, go ahead and do that now. That's going to be fine with me right there. There's another signature put together. Then we're going to do our last one. And let's see, what do I want to be the very front? I want this Edith Holden page right here to be the very front. Then I'm just going to go in with a little page like this. This. I'm telling you, I do not take a lot of time with this. Let's see, that needs to fold that way. I decide what I like and I put it in. I've saw some people take hours just to do a signature, put a signature together. That's not for me. I don't have that kind of time in my day. All right, we need something that's got lots of writing on there. That'll be that. Then let's put a ledger page in there. Then we will come back with this. And maybe one of these. Let's do a book page at the bottom. And then this at the top. See, that way we know that's going to catch when we start stitching. And then we'll bring this in here. That can be my center. I want this one in, but I don't want them together. So I'm going to go back and insert that one somewhere else. Maybe right in here. Right between these two. And then a doily. I think we'll put this doily back somewhere else too. I'm going to put it right in there. I did a kind of sort of fold. That's what's called a kind of sort of fold. Alright, and then there is that one, and I have nothing sticking out, so that's good. So there is my first, second, and third signature right there. And I don't have that many pages at all in mine, as you've seen. Just try not to add too many. If you want to go and grab something else out of your stash to put in there, that's up to you. But just try not to add too much. Now, like I said, if you want to stitch, now is the time to stitch. You can't do it after you get your book put together. So go ahead and do your stitching now if you want to. I'm not going to stitch, but I am going to ink around this. So I'm just going to grab my ink, and I'm going to go ahead and do my inking. And then we will start putting this together.